Brad Williams, Excel Prime. How to create a two input data table. The previous example I showed was a single input data table. Here we have a two input data table. What does that mean? That means we want a table that is representative of interest rates and response rate. We can do that simply by building off the same data table that we used before. Now, here's just a hypothetical situation. You can build any scenario you want, but here's an email profit model. You send out emails, you get a response of X, the total output or net profit based on your response rate, and your mail rate will kick out a particular net profit. Great. I mean, that's just simple math. But what if? What if you're sending out more than X? Or what if you're sending out less than X, but Y, your response rate, is greater or less? Well, that's the beauty of this data table. You can see both scenarios. If you send out 300,000 emails and you have a 3.25% response rate, potential profit is 93,000. Those in the red, 1.75 response rate based on 175,000 emails, it's money losing. So you can see your break even, and then you can see your profit potential. That's the beauty of a data table. In terms of the input cells and the parameters, remember that these are hard coded. You can put these in yourself. You can change this however you want. Variables here are going to impact the data here, and this information is just formatting. In other words, you can build off of this. All this says is if you're sending out less than 200,000, your cost is going to be a certain amount. If more than amount, then it's going to be another response. And then you have your marketing costs, which is just a fixed number. And your response is pretty simple. You just take 2% times 275. Your profit per response, this is just a number you make up. Your gross profit, clearly your response rate times 1850. And then your cost, number of emails sent times your cost. You just subtract the two. In terms of the data table, just like the previous example, we'll build this. Let's just start off with 100 grand. Just enter that yourself. And then we want to increase by 25,000 equals this plus 25,000. Copy that down, Control D. And we can go one more just to match the other model, Control D. And here we want to add one row here, insert. You can start whatever number you want here. So we'll just go 0.015. Notice I put 0015, hit percentage, and 0.015. If you want to change it by 0.25%, you just equal this plus 0.0025. And then you just copy this to the right, Control right, change the decimals. Here is the preliminary setup for your table. Now you can format it however you want. For now, we're just going to stick with the example. To build the data table, we need to highlight the range first. Then we go to Data, What If, Data Table. And here we have the column input and the row input. We want the response rate as the row, because if you look across, we have 2%. Here's the row. And then the column will be, click down, 275, and what happened? What happened? Well, we have to have a reference. And the reference is, we're looking for income. We have to put income up here in this cell. Just hit equals, and it automatically creates a data table. You need to just format this for appearance purposes. We can change these colors too. You get the idea. Here's the negative 924, 4625. We can see 10, 101, 156. Remember I told you how to change these colors? You can go format. You can just do this whole thing and hit format cells. And then you can change the colors if you want. You see how quick that was? I just went in. I'll show you again. Format cells. Go in. Hit custom, and then I just hit red. There's just a quick scenario. You can color this in as you want. You can do this in what? A couple minutes. Here's the hardest part, is just creating a scenario. But the data table itself takes seconds. and explains all kinds of stuff. If you have 3.25 response rate on 325,000 emails, that's a lot of money. Great what if scenarios, very simple, very straightforward. You can build this on your own. If you have a tool like this up here in the what if scenario, use it. It just takes seconds, and then all you got to do is show this to your boss, and he's going to go, wow, that's pretty impressive. Brad Williams, XL Prime.